What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is 8:30-ish p.m. on a Wednesday, a very cold Wednesday from the capital city of Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Hello, world. Hello, stats. Hello, stream. Hello, everybody. We have a special guest today. Very excited. This was like 11th hour type stuff that came in. Stats actually doing his executive producer job and actually getting somebody to actually show up for the show other than me. He, for once, actually did his job, got someone to show up, a long-time favorite of the channel. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in Stats real quick. Stats, make sure you unmute your mic. Hey, brother, what's up?
Good, folks.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
What did we do this 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. We took last week off because Adam needed to live stream for his birthday, remember?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 weeks.
It's
cold. It was 5 degrees when I got out of my car at my office this morning, and that
unacceptable.
was just bonkers.
Unacceptable.
And that's gonna be the low tonight too. You know, in my drafty old apartment with busted windows and 5 degrees outside while I'm trying to sleep.
You'll be sleeping just fine underneath those copious amounts of dollar bills that you sleep under.
Oh, absolutely.
But we have a long time show favorite, a Technically Speaking favorite. Miss Kathleen Gary is going to be joining us. She's going to be joining us and talking about a viral tweet, a tweet that went semi-viral. Stats, can you read the tweet? You didn't even know I was going to do that to you, did you?
I was reaching for my phone right when you said it.
I'm going to bring Miss Kathleen in right now. Miss Kathleen,
I got the tweet now.
Hello. Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Some could say just peachy.
It's very exciting. I feel like I'm like behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, behind the magic curtain. Or something.
You do get to see kind of behind the curtain. You had a tweet go semi-viral this week, and Stats is going to read it. It was semi-viral. Let's be real. There was hundreds of people that commented.
Yeah. So the tweet from yesterday, I switched to an iPhone for the first time in a decade and only lasted 2 weeks before going back to my Pixel 5. Ask me anything, with 100 comments, 24 retweets, and 889 likes.
That's semi-viral.
How do you handle that level of popularity, Kathleen?
So I'm not sure. Most people were just trolls. Okay, so context. I came away from Twitter for a while. I moved into a new job, was not so reliant on being my old job. I was had to be plugged in to what the kids were saying on the Instagram and Twitter. So I used to very much thrive off of getting validation from social media, likes boosted my ego, so to say. And so now I just tweet every once in a while. I have a burner account where I can see what's people are talking about a TV show, where I can go on and just check that out. But
you have a burner account?
Oh yeah, do you not know that one? Okay, I'll send it to you afterward.
Oh my goodness. Burner account.
It has 5 followers. I post my Wordle wins. I'm on a 14-day streak, by the way. If y'all want to talk about Wordle after this, we should talk about that.
Don't even know what it is.
I'll explain it to you later.
I don't have a clue what it is.
Okay. So, so I think my most virally tweet before was a couple, 100 likes, nothing big deal. I'm not a big deal on Twitter. And I was wow, people really care about this. I knew people cared about this topic, but I didn't think they would care about me caring about this topic. And so 889 people have way too much time on their hands is my
Yeah. So
Scott and I are 2 of those. So,
people were coming at you in very inappropriate ways, wildly inappropriate ways, really questioning your intelligence, and like adding you and then like retweeting it and quote tweeting it and just inappropriate ways. It's like it goes to show you the Apple sheep that are out there.
Mhm.
Oh, and I can say
It
that because
also,
I have a ton of Apple products.
yeah. It also probably doesn't help. I'm very much like a girl, like I
Which
am like
is,
a female.
I
Just
get it.
also terrible. So like you kind of are like asking for it. But anyways, I have a lot of Apple products.
You do.
I have an iPad.
iPad Mini, new iPad
I got
Mini.
the new one. Yeah. I bought the case, the actual case from the Apple store.
So
I
you
paid
paid a penny.
$60 or something for this thing. I'm on a Mac for work. I recently switched to a Mac for work.
You switched to
And
Mac
but
from what were you on before?
I was on a Pixel book before, like the 2017, like the original Pixel book.
The
The
stainless steel, the one that Stats has.
Yeah, and I loved it. It just
Yes.
wore out. So 4+ years or something on it. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So this tweet
yeah.
goes viral, and all of a sudden, people are coming at you, questioning your intelligence, whether or not. And so you went back to a not just a regular, not just like a Pixel 6. You went straight back to the Pixel 5.
Yes, I don't know how to work this camera on backwards, but yes, I went back to the Pixel 5. I really like the Pixel 5. I wish it was a white one, but whatever. But yeah, so I switched over to Mac a couple months ago. I decided I wanted an iPad. I bought it for myself for Christmas. I got the pencil and everything. Where is it? I here. I read on it. I do crosswords on it. I take notes on it. I digitally plan my life on it, like workout tracking, all the things. And then so I was like, why not go all in? Because the only thing I was missing was the phone. I even have
AirPods.
AirPods 3,
Oh, AirPod 3s. Yep.
not the Pros.
Yep, those are
Um,
the third generation. Like, so you are legitimately like both feet in the Apple ecosystem. You get an iPhone and you got Pixel Buds. It's fine. I'll allow it. You get into the Apple ecosystem as it relates to the iPhone and fart noise.
yeah, it just was like I had very high expectations. And like I don't need a lot from my phone. Like I also don't care. I just need it to do there's a couple things I need it to do. I need it to take really good photos because I got a dog and we'll need to promote his Instagram so everybody can go and follow Shep. But I was like, okay, I need to take pictures of my dog who runs around. So that's one. I need it for like basic stuff. Like I'm not on a lot of social media anymore. Apparently, I am very good at it though. And I just like I drive a lot now. Like I got a car during the pandemic. I didn't have my partner had one. I didn't have one. Like I got a car. I need to be able to drive. I like use it for like video calling with my trainer. So like we do FaceTime, Google call, meet, whatever, virtual training. So that like I don't have high needs. I'm not editing photos. I'm not editing videos. It's not it's just a phone. So I was like, okay, let me get a phone, get an iPhone. And I was like, oh, this is like not good. I like within the first 2 hours, I was like,
2 hours. So you in 2 hours you made the call like, nah, this is not for me.
I was like, no. I was like, but like learning curve, everyone's like, there's a couple things you got to set up. And I was like, okay, let me give it, I was going to give myself a month. And then I got to the 2 week mark. It was actually only yesterday that I switched it. Like over the weekend I meant to, and then I just didn't have time to like take my earring out and swap my SIM card. It's a very time intensive task. But yeah, I was like, I can't do it anymore. There was just too much effort from, and I will acknowledge that I probably set myself up in a somewhat Google walled garden. I'm very reliant on a lot of Google services, but I thought that that would be easier. Like, we're not even talking about iMessage yet, which is a whole other conversation, but just like basic things like contacts, Google Maps versus Apple Maps, a couple things that I was just like, this shouldn't be this difficult. So, real time example, my trainer does live really close to me, and sometimes I do go to his place. Most of the time, he and I do video calls, and I was like, okay, I still don't trust myself to like not use Google Maps to get anywhere. So even if it's just down the street, I like navigate. And so I like go to my contacts, realize that all my contacts are like in triplicate. I don't know how that happened. It's like, fine, I'll spend some time cleaning up my contacts. Go to him, and I had uninstalled Apple Maps because like, well, I don't want to use Apple Maps. I like Google Maps. But because I uninstalled Apple Maps, I couldn't click on his address in contacts. It was like, you need to install Apple Maps. So I had to long hold, copy, paste it into Google Maps, and then I could use it.
It's extra steps that Apple specifically turned that off, because they could easily allow you to choose Google Maps if they wanted to, but they don't want you to do that. They want you to use Apple Maps.
Because like even on my Pixel, yeah, if you don't choose your default app, like, because I like still had ages ago had like when you clicked on a map location, it would, do you want to open this in Maps or do you want to open this in Uber? And then you would have to pick which app you want to open it in. Like Apple like forcing, it's like, nope, Apple Maps is the only way that you can open this link. So I was like, okay, don't love it. Yeah. Newsfeed, I was just like, I really had gotten to a point where I had like a curated Discover feed on my Pixel. So I was like, okay, I have to start all over again and teach a new algorithm, like what I like, what I don't like. I used to get a lot of spoilers about TV shows. So I had like filtered everything out. I was like, okay, well, I'd have to start over, which again, effort, but fine, could do that. Google Assistant was one that was hard.
Now you can get the Google Assistant on your iPhone.
You want to show you my iPhone home screen setup?
Is it all Google?
Also, so when I pull,
other way, there you go.
Pull to the, what is it, right?
Yep.
I put 2 widgets there. That's my Google News and the Assistant widget. Because my whole home is a smart home. I have locks, lights, everything. My partner OKG's the day away, and so I need it to turn on the lights in the morning. Even though he has it on a routine, I'm usually up before the routine starts with the dog now, because the dog has we don't know what time it's going to get up at. So the Assistant was a big one. But the biggest one was the camera. I think I probably could, and I wish this was a last minute.
Oh, it's hot. That's a hot take. Woo!
Yeah. And this was a last minute ad, so I didn't have time to like curate photos and show side by side. But on my Pixel, I can double click my home screen, and the camera comes up. There's my face. I was like I know that there's the swipe to the side. It was not, maybe I have sweaty fingers. I don't know what it is. I couldn't get it open in time. That so many times my dog, like, I just couldn't get it open in time. That's one. And then taking the photos of like a dog running around, and dog's not even a kid. A dog is a dog. Imagine if I like missed my child's first steps because my camera was lagging, right? Like lots of like zoom, like, and I even tried to go in and like edit or crop or pick the right frame or something, and it just wasn't all the hype. Wasn't worth all the hype.
And so this, you have helped me at least stave off the fact I am very similar to you. I have iPads, MacBook. I use a Mac for work. I use a Mac for personal use. I have an iPhone as a secondary device, but just because I'm a content creator. But as a primary device, because I'm a Pixel guy from a primary device perspective, everything that you just highlighted to me would absolutely drive me insane.
Oh, and the keyboard.
Oh my God, the keyboard, I can tell you right now, the keyboard is hot garbage.
And the notifications.
Oh, the
Like,
notifications are a mess.
like I was like, somebody messaged me on this other, like, I missed a lot of stuff. So yeah, we can talk about the messaging ecosystem in a minute. I have some opinions on it, but
Oh,
that
okay.
wasn't even the make or break. Like, I don't care that I have a green bubble. I don't care about that, but I know a lot of people do. But yeah, notifications was also a problem. Yeah, so I just, I gave it. Some people in the Twitter sphere were like, "You're not smart enough to figure this out. You're not," and I'm like,
I was so
it shouldn't
pissed.
be like. I work at a technology company. I have used technology my whole life. Everything is powered by automation in my home. Um, it shouldn't be that much of a learning curve.
I am so excited that we have a real person opinion about switching from Pixel to an iPhone to say, everybody says Apple, it just works, but it's not quite that easy as a lot of people make it out to be. Could it be
Yeah,
done? Could you have done it? Sure.
sure.
Did you want to because of the way that you use your devices? Yeah, no. The answer is no. Like, and I think people really discount a lot, like the Google Assistant, the smart home integration, the keyboard, the news feed, the things of that nature. Like the I don't want to be forced to use Apple Maps. I want to use Google Maps. I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
Like I want to use what I want to use.
Yeah, yeah. And then it should be down to then app developers or software developers or application developers to say, like, we're going to optimize for Apple or Android. Because, like, even if I wasn't using Google Assistant, if I was like in the Alexa ecosystem, like, would it be just as hard? Like, it seems like it's Siri or nothing. So, and
Mm.
don't love that.
So you have some thoughts on the iMessage bubble
Mm.
stigmatization that is going on. So you okay, so let's ask this question. Everybody comes back to three things which are absolutely amazing or delightful as it relates to the Apple ecosystem, and they always revolve around iMessage, FaceTime, and AirDrop. Now, I will give AirDrop credit. AirDrop is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But iMessage?
So I didn't. I'll be very honest. I did not use AirDrop. Uh, didn't use it. Have no opinion. I can see wanting to use it, but I also know that there's so much sharing in other apps. I don't know why there's a standalone, like, unless you're trying to like creep on somebody on, like, who's like in the same restaurant as you and you want to be use it for that reason. I don't understand why, like, I share my photos through Google Photos. I share my files through my Drive file sharing app of choice. So I don't know about AirDrop. For FaceTime was delightful. So my trainer he was super excited about me moving to an iPhone. Like, yeah. And it was interesting because I have this stand in my garage where I put my phone. It's like up high, and so he can see everything, and I have headphones in. And we always use Google Hangouts because everything is in your calendar, right? And I'm gonna like say maybe the internet was bad for 2 weeks, but we had a lot of lagging and dropping with Google Meet on my iPhone, so we switched over to FaceTime. It was crisp, it was clear, it was a beautiful experience. I'm not the biggest. I don't FaceTime my pals. Like, millennials don't do that. You don't call people on the phone. Like, if you're calling, there's an emergency. Like, right? So like I don't really use Duo. I don't do a lot. So it was great. FaceTime was great. But the messaging thing is like, I hope one day marketing students learn about the best marketing ploy ever to have happened, which is Apple and the blue bubble. And if you have a green bubble, you are less than somebody with a blue bubble. Like, all the memes on the internet about, like, hey, it's Daryl from last night, and she texts back, oh, sorry, you have a green bubble. I'm not Texas. Sorry, this isn't going to work, right? Like, I'm sure you've seen those.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. And so making an assumption about who somebody is based on the color of their bubble in messaging seems wrong. It also is, but they've done a really good job keeping that so close. Don't quote me on it. You guys are the experts here, right? The headlines about
We're not
they
experts.
won't adopt RCS. Like they could easily turn on a lot of this functionality. Every other phone creator in the world wants everyone to be together. And the main reasons, besides the color, it's the react. It's like Scott reacted to your message, and I'm like, that wasn't an issue for me because if you're smart, but apparently I'm not based on my new Twitter friends. You just don't do that in a conversation with someone who has a green bubble because you should know that they, and it's like, but I have some group chats where that happens and it doesn't really bother me. So if these are the things that are getting you bent out of shape in life, you need some new priorities. And I've got some work you could do if you need something to like fill your time.
Woo, with the fire. Woo, the fire.
So
Love it. Love it.
Woo.
It's also very interesting. This is a very American centric conversation.
Yep.
Outside of the US, and I can say this because I'm not American, despite the way I sound, people don't get hung up on the iMessaging thing. Most people don't use text messaging. WhatsApp is the dominating messaging platform in like the rest of the world. And WhatsApp doesn't care what platform or what operating system you're using. So I think it's silly, but I have to commend Apple for doing a really good job of, keeping up the ruse that, blue bubbles where it's at.
So this is the real life stuff here. Oh man, I'm so excited that you said that. So excited. You have literally in the last, basically since we jumped on the show, for the last 20 minutes, you have been given gospel as it relates to switching over from an iPhone, from a Pixel to an iPhone and then back to Pixel because of it. Because of real world things that you have brought up, that it is very different.
And it's beautiful phone.
Yeah, no question.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 13.
Almost all
here.
phones are beautiful these days.
Yeah, but at the same time, most people will like me. I know Scott doesn't do this, but I put a cover on my phone. So
cover on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice cover.
Thank you. This is a D brand.
Oh, that is cute. Oh, I like that. And so, I just think I like to go with a hot take on Twitter, and I thought that was funny, and the couple of my Twitter friends who actually engage in my content, like Scott, my friend Kyle, a couple other people, would have been like, LOL. But
I thought it was hilarious. Ask me anything. Like when you when you first posted, I just didn't think much about it.
I know. What time did I tweet that at though as well? Oh, it was 9:00 in the morning. Oh, okay, never mind. Sounds like a drunk tweet too.
It wasn't. No, that was a coffee tweet. That was straight up coffee tweet.
No, that was a hot tea. That was a hot tea tweet.
So, Canuck Gal asked, "How are the notifications different on the iPhone? What did you like or
they're abysmal
dislike
is what they are
about the notifications?"
So you pull this backwards thing. So you pull down, right? For everyone is like, of course you do. But then you gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And there's real-time notifications, and I can't see. I didn't know that I had a passive-aggressive notification from MyFitnessPal to step on the scale and update your weight today, but it would have been nice to have the little icon. Versus on my Pixel,
the Pixel is just an aggressive notification about stepping on the scale. Other way.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's I've got all the things up there and the little dot to say that there's more. At a glance, I can see that there's something. And it just felt like a lot of stuff got lost. They decided what my
I agree.
priorities were for my notifications. Again, I
I
could have
have
updated that.
to.
Maybe you can do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I have to use an iPhone 11 for work, and I just got it last week, and it is such a night and day difference on how I interact with the devices
Mhm.
versus my 5. And yeah,
This is
I've been in the ecosystem too long. I mean, I can make an iPhone work much like you did for 2 weeks, and I have to because I refuse to do BYOD at my particular job. Um,
Mhm.
but man, I when I get to pick up that Pixel on my break or at the end of the day, it's like, oh, thank God, this thing just works for me.
Yeah. But that's a really good point, right? Because I think like I was being whatever with that because I know like iPhone, Android, whatever. But like at the end of the day, people just need to have a phone that works for them. Like make the tools work for
Mhm.
you, right? And I think that my one qualm about all of this is the like what if you are a parent who cannot afford to buy your 15-year-old daughter an iPhone and she has a functioning phone that she can access Instagram or whatever she needs to, but like people at school are mean because she has a green bubble. Like why are we allowing this conversation to continue to keep happening when like it's just not nice. Like of all the things we care about in the world, who fucking cares what sorry, am I allowed to swear? What
can now. She demonetized.
Hey, it wasn't me this time. It wasn't
Yay!
me.
Woohoo!
who cares? Who cares? Who cares? And I think I don't know. I just think it's stupid.
I've never really understood the bubble thing. Um, I just, I just don't.
Well,
I don't. I just, I'm trying not
Well,
to be like. Do I understand the technical differences? Yes, I understand the technologically. I understand what the differences are. Yes, you can use iMessage across all these. You can use it across your iPad and it syncs across your MacBook. Like I not technologically, I get it. I just don't. I don't get why the bubble color matters.
but you also don't get things.
I think it's this generation's version of, do you have a starter jacket, or do you have a trapper keeper, or do you have a car when
Trap.
you turn 16?
Jesus Christ, a trapper keeper. How old are you trying to make us?
Well, trapper keeper was like grade school, starter jacket was middle school, car was high school. And for our generations that grew up before social media, at least part of our lives grew up without the internet, it was the physical things that you were judged on by your classmates, by your peers, by older kids, whatever. And these days it's, do you have a phone? Does your phone have a blue bubble? Do you have an Instagram account? Do you have a Snapchat account? And it's unfortunate not any better than it was in previous generations. It's probably worse because these things are on and around 24/7. People never are more than a couple of feet away from their phone at any given time. And but the societal issue, which is what I think Kathleen's trying to get to, it hasn't changed. It's just the method on how people are able to pick at each other.
Juan says it right
Mhm.
here. Apple has been aggressively building division into their marketing since the 1984 ad. Then it was Mac versus PC. It was charming when they were just smaller player. It's gross as they crossed $3 trillion.
Right.
Agree.
Like the what was that commercial in like the early 2000s with the I'm a Mac, I'm a
Oh
PC. Like they were
yeah,
cute. Yeah. They were cute. They were funny. But like you can't really do that when you are like at some point somebody in the government's going to come after them and be like you're not allowed to do this anymore.
yeah. Oh.
They
I
can
don't know.
try, but Apple's actually profitable. The government isn't.
What
Yeah.
Michael had a question on voice to text. Thoughts on iOS versus Pixel voice to text?
Oh, I think I used it. Oh, okay. Caveat. I my partner, who I text with the most, again, like I mentioned, we are not Americans. We use WhatsApp. So I did not do voice to text on iMessage.
Okay,
So
so let's unpack a little.
Gboard, so Gboard's voice to text is great.
Okay, so so let me just fill in the blank for everybody. The voice to text is better on a Pixel, in my opinion. I have said that it is by far absolutely incredible on a Pixel versus any other Android device. It is by far the best on any Android. The closest one would be the Vivo that I've been trying out, which has been just buttery smooth. Closest thing to a Pixel that I could really see myself using for a while. But the voice to text on iOS that's not Gboard, oh boy, it is less. It is. I have high expectations with my voice to text, and iOS just does not meet it. Now, this might seem like, okay, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit here. It might seem like we have spent the last 32 minutes trashing and crapping all over Apple. Now, let's be clear here. Let's be clear. I am streaming on a MacBook Pro on my personal device. I use a
As
MacBook
am
Pro
I.
for work. You are streaming on a MacBook Pro right now. You have an iPad mini, brand new iPad mini. I have multiple iPad Pros. Both Kathleen and I are firmly in, yeah, see, Apple Pencil in the whole 9 yards. We are firmly in the ecosystem that is Apple. And that is
I
Shep,
need
and we're going to.
I need a good camera to take pictures of the sky. I don't know what's happening with my hands.
So,
Yeah.
Scott, if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is that I am the only true Pixel/Android person on this live stream because I'm using a Pixelbook and a phone.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Can I add to that? I my laptop is work issued. I actually don't own a personal laptop. I guess that's half the reason I bought an iPad because I was like, well, I don't have one. But if I could have replaced my Pixelbook with the same type of Pixelbook, I would have. It was light, battery was good, it worked like Chrome was great on it. Like I don't have need to have like massive Excel files that I download offline and do a gazillion different things with them. But so like I think it's because of lack of choice I'm on a MacBook. And then I got in anticipation for returning to the office, was like I was like, let me make sure I'm set up that I can take meetings outside all day long, slash a couple inside, which is why I got these to go with my MacBook. But I still have these that I use every day on my Peloton and my phone.
You know, you could just use those Pixel Buds with your MacBook Pro, which is what I do.
Well, listen, I like some variety in my life, okay?
It's okay. Scott has about 6 other pairs of wireless headphones on his desk.
Yeah, I
right
do.
now.
1, 2, and we won't talk about what's in that box over there because there's a lot. So Philip, real quick, we had a comment that talked about Philip French comes in and says, I'm seriously interested in the Pixel Pro. Is the video actually better on the iPhone? I'd be switching from an iPhone. Thanks a million for your response. So the video, so I'll say this, the video on an iPhone is exceptionally good. There is no question that it's good. The Pixel 6 Pro is good. It is not as good as the iPhone. It's just not.
Well, and the other thing I would say is for Philip specifically, if everybody that you are sending your videos to, if you're sending them directly phone to phone, has an iPhone, then if you make the switch to an Android, the quality is gonna suffer. Now, if
That's
you
because
upload
Apple
it,
does that on purpose.
Apple does that on
we're
purpose.
aware. If you upload it and then other people can access it from there using their file sharing app of choice, you won't suffer as much degradation. But if you take videos on an iPhone and you send them directly to an iPhone, that's going to get you the best video quality.
Yeah.
Stats coming in with the heat.
Agree. So I share most of my content not through text.
You don't share it through text?
No, I'll put together like this is an album of my dog for my friend who's on an iPhone and wanted good content. So I put a Google photo album together for her and I add pictures, or I'll send them to people on Instagram or on WhatsApp, like my family. It's all on WhatsApp. And great photo sharing and video sharing and file sharing content through WhatsApp. But then you're kind of connected to the Facebook of it all, and that's a whole other conversation for another day.
You've just been laying down the heat in this show. The heat has been laid down.
Throwing out the other big bad in the industry. Jeez.
I was gonna say you're going after two big bads in the industry, talking about they don't make shit for phones. That Apple company. I'm kidding. That's not what you said.
Yeah, and let's just be really clear. I think it's a great phone, and I think had I not switched from my, I can't even remember, iPhone 2. I didn't have the first one. I had the second one. And then I switched to the Nexus 4.
Nexus 4 was such a great phone.
With that sparkly back.
Oh, I know. It was so good. It was my favorite all-time phone.
That is also my favorite all-time phone. And ever since then, I have just gone Nexus 5, 6, and then I think I switched over to Pixel. Had I stayed with the iPhone this whole time, I'm sure I would have had a great experience. And also for all the haters who were like in that tweet thread, who were like, what were you on? An iPhone 6? It's iPhone 12. It's not the newest one, but it is the 12. Not the Pro, just the 12.
Stats, are you back? Stats?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay.
Stats got offended by our Nexus comments.
I know. Stats was like, I'm really done with his Nexus comments. I'm out.
No, I think my internet took a dive because I tried to send a chat to Adam and it didn't send. So.
Okay. Real quick, Juan comes in and I love Juan because thank you for keeping me honest on this. One caveat for videos: if you use a third-party app like Filmic Pro, the Google Pixel 6 sensor is more cinematic with a nicer focus fall off than the iPhone Pro Max. So much for that Pixel book, right, Stats? That's what you get for being an Android guy. I'm the only Android guy. And disconnected. Suck it.
Hey, it's the internet.
I use Telegram as well. The whole family's on Telegram. We don't suffer from the Android, iOS. Demetrius is saying, and that's excellent point. That's all great points. I have an ungodly amount of messaging. I use Telegram. I use Signal. I use WhatsApp. I use Messages. I use Duo. I use Discord. I use all the things. All of the messaging. So, what is Shep's Instagram? Because that's what people have been wanting to know.
So it's Shepherd the Golden, SHEPARD.
Shepherd the Golden.
Shepherd the Golden. We share daily content of my currently 11-week-old English cream golden retriever. He had a play date today with another golden retriever, and I also got him a soccer ball.
Okay. Adorable. Adorable.
He's super cute. And the last thing that I will say before I go, because I have to go and eat and feed my dog, is Scott, you should be playing Wordle.
Oh my God, what's this Wordle thing? What is it?
And the fact that you don't know what it is probably aligns with the fact that why you don't care about the colored messaging bubbles, because you are too old to care about what the kids care about.
Wow.
You're not wrong.
I actually think you'd enjoy Wordle, so I'm going to message you about that later.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone on the stream was playing, but a couple days ago almost killed my streak. Today needed the 6 tries to get the word. So
I have absolutely. You just spoke an entirely new language to me. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
The people who are sharing green and yellow squares all over their Twitter.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I'll teach
that means though.
We'll talk. It's
Okay,
fine.
just
You
message me.
look.
Canuck gal. I'm old and I love
Um,
Wordle.
yeah, but I'm just trying to. Old people love Wordle too. My mom loves it, but I'm just trying to call Scott old and out of touch.
That's what it
That
was. I am old and
was
out of touch. That
yeah,
truer words have never been spoken.
yeah, yeah. So okay, guys,
All
this
right,
was
you're out of
lovely.
here.
I can't
Thank you.
believe this actually happened.
I
This
know,
is
me too.
magical.
I told
Yeah, good
Stats, I was like,
podcast.
make it happen. So I thank you so much for coming on. You dropped the heat in this one. Love it. Shepherd
My
the Golden.
just my own thoughts and opinions of informed, according to the internet, not smart enough
Oh my
girl
God.
using
So
iPhones.
ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
So ridiculous.
Brian, Wordle only takes a few minutes a day. Should all test it out. Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see
Scott,
you as
I'll
well.
text you later.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
so
Great to
much.
see you too.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, there you have it. That is from the grand adventures of her 2-week trial and tribulations of using an iPhone. Using an iPhone, and she switched back to Pixel. Man, she brought the heat in that episode.
Yep, absolutely. That's we might need to just cut that
Cut the
discussion
show.
and just upload that as its own to the podcast and let that drive the numbers, because the rest of this is just going to pale in comparison.
Oh, I know. It's just absolutely amazing. I loved everything that she. This is where we're going to start to see the viewership go straight in the crapper. Yeah. And you're frozen. I don't know what you're doing.
No, she.
You're
It's
back.
not frozen on my end.
Okay, you're back now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to close all these other windows because I don't think we're going to end up talking about any of this stuff. Yeah, her insight into what it takes to switch ecosystems, which she did.
She did.
And her willingness to attempt the phone, but then coming from the other side, knowing exactly what she was missing. I mean, that's we could not have had you and I have had this discussion a dozen times on the show, but her 40 minutes was better than anything we've ever done.
That's true. Her 40 minutes is better than any 3-hour show we put together. Malcontent just said, I just wish she had a strong opinion about tech things.
Yeah, it'd be better if she did. But it goes to show how stupid and dumb the online Twitterverse is. I don't know why I said online Twitterverse. The Twitterverse is when it comes to hot takes and people hiding behind a keyboard and not, taking the time to really engage people. Because she truly is an expert in this space. This is what she does. For people to just try to insult her or jump down her throat on Twitter, and some of her reactions were perfect. She is the perfect person to be on Twitter, even though she doesn't like it. It's just comical that someone thinks they're going to talk her out of it or tell her that she did something wrong.
Oh, you're talking to the wrong person.
This is what she does.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're talking to the wrong person when it comes to that. Absolutely not. So, in keeping with regular, let's keep this Pixel stuff going. We have two Pixel stories to talk about. Let's see what Juan says. That's why it's such garbage when Apple claims they have competition. Just leave it and switch to Android is a false equivalence. Swapping ecosystems is tough on people. 100% agree. It is very hard on. It is not as easy, and it's not the same. Switching from I had thought about switching to iPhone for a long time, but after everything she just described, I barely want to switch Android devices. And that's an ecosystem that I'm familiar with, let alone going from Pixel or a Vivo or a Sony to an iPhone, and I still use my iPhone quite a bit to make content. So like I'm accustomed to it,
Right.
but still not even that. Like I still would struggle making the switch over, I think, based on some of the things that she highlighted in her 40 minutes. I mean, she laid gospel on some of this, which was really, really fun to watch and
Yeah.
see.
No, I- I'm serious. I mean, whether or not we upload this entire thing to the podcast, which we usually do, I think we should cut and maybe make a standalone video just to try to promote civilized discourse around what is a hot button issue in the tech community and in greater society these days. I think that could be an interesting conversation for you to put out on your channel.
You, you just made me spend more time editing. Thanks for that.
You just got to cut it and just let the rest of it ride.
It's not quite that simple. It's close. I'll give you that, but it's not
I mean,
quite that simple.
there were two curse words you need to bleep, so
I ain't
that
gonna
one
bleep
can
it.
stay monetized.
I ain't gonna bleep it. I ain't gonna bleep it. Let's see if how quick we got demonetized. It's all right. We don't really make a lot of money on these shows anyway. Let's be real.
We'll find out in 24 hours.
Not even going to be that long. It won't even be that long. It's transcoding as we do this. So Google reported, 9 to 5, Google reports that the Google target price for the Pixel Notepad, which is their foldable that looks like the Oppo N, is, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I said it was going to be $1,200. I said it was going to be $1,200 and you froze again. So I'm going to continue. You're still frozen.
I think that's too high of a price. Yeah, it's coming back.
You're coming back.
I think I'm a little disappointed. I think
and he's gone. Just like that, and he's gone. The Stats decided that this is what he gets. This is exactly what Stats gets for going, I'm the only one with an Android something or other. And let's see. Are you back? Are you actually back this time?
I don't. Maybe. I've never had the internet do this while we've been streaming, so I don't know what's going on.
I literally was saying, like, this is what you get for going, I'm the only Android. This is exactly what you get for that. So, long story short, $13.99 in the States, which is a $500 difference between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Excuse me, it's a $500 difference between the Pixel 6 Pro and the Pixel Notepad. In comparison, it's $100 greater than the 1,000. See, the difference between, it's $100 greater than the difference between. That's a terribly written sentence, in my opinion. Like that's a hard written sentence. It's $100 greater than the difference between the $1199 S21 Ultra and the $1799 Z Fold 3. I think what they're getting at is it's $500 difference between the Pixel 6 Pro versus the $600 difference between the S21 Ultra and the Z Fold 3. But I probably would have done, it's $400 cheaper than the Z Fold 3 from Samsung. That's what I would have done.
Yeah. Well, that author's probably getting paid by the word. So, but no, I'm with you. I think 1,400's a stretch. If they, or 13.99, if they could have gotten it at 11.99, I mean, you'd had people standing in line for days outside of the Google store in New York. For 13.99, that's going to be tough.
Like $12.99 was an absolute buy for me. $13.99 is still an absolute buy for me because it's not the same shape as the Z Fold 3. It's more the square, like the Oppo N, which gives you like a 5.5 inch outer display that is actually still usable versus the very tall, lanky Z Fold 3, with a weird aspect ratio, like a little taller. Like it's just, I didn't find it as functional. I find an Oppo 5.5 inch display, when it folds over to more of a square style, I like that a lot. And like Juan is saying here, I'm honestly not too worried about the higher prices on the Pixel Fold so long as it beats the Duo. I think it beats a
Hmm.
Duo. I think if they're going to come in at $13.99, they should have the Pixel 6 camera specs. I doubt that they will. I would say it'll probably have let's see.
Mobile Opinions just asked that. Yeah,
Does it? Yeah. Okay. Does it have the Pixel 6 cameras? The I
I think
think
it
what they're
has
going to
to.
say is the Pixel Foldable looks more like the Oppo Infine. Again, this is a report sources from 9 to 5 Google. It's going to have the Sony 12.2 megapixel from the Pixel 3 to 5A, which is going to be thinner than what was introduced on the 6, and it'll be joined by the ultra wide IMX 386 12 megapixel camera. Um, a pair of 8 megapixel IMX 355s for selfies are expected to round out the camera complement. So basically, you're going to be getting the sensors from a Pixel 3 through a Pixel 5a, which doesn't surprise me in the least. It they've got that thing tuned to like a fine tooth comb as it relates to how the software should interact, especially since they're taking on the additional step of actually making a foldable and having to deal with the software impacts from that. I would still say you have a 5A. It still takes phenomenal pictures. As a matter of fact, the 5A won MKBHD's photo of the year, or that the thing that he did where he put like all of the cameras against one another. The idea is like, it's still more than enough from a sensor perspective. It can hold its own. So like I believe it's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I really hope Dustin says I
Yeah.
really hope it comes to life and soon. Me and you too. Me and you both, my friend. Still a great all-around camera. I don't think the Duo would be perceived as a direct competitor for the Fold. Um,
I mean, I I think that's going to depend on how Google chooses to market it. I mean, it's at its most basic, they're both foldables. So Google is have their design intent and then their design usage is, and Google has proven they can market their products if they want. It's just
mm-hmm.
if they choose to.
And Juan said it best right now is slate phones are for content creation. We got to talk about folding tablets for productivity. That's the thing. The Fold 3 from Samsung would be a fine productivity device and is a fine productivity device. It wasn't the one that I choose because the battery life was poo poo for me. The battery life was very poo. Um,
Yeah.
the notepad battery capacity will be the big thing on the notepad from Pixelated right here. And that's what I agree with is the idea of we've got to make sure that the battery life on a Pixel notepad is just exceptional to the level of the Pixel 5, the Pixel 5a, the Pixel 4a battery life was really really good. So if you can get into the vicinity of like an A series battery complement, oh, that would be just peachy. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I think I know we've all been spoiled over the last couple of years with the 6 Pro, the 5, the 5A. If you're careful with it and you don't spend too much time watching YouTube, you can get almost 2 solid days of a phone charge, at least within the first year of using the phone. So, with the bigger form factor, having maybe a little more room, maybe dual batteries, who knows? I would, but also having 3 times the screen size, um, I would back down my requirements. I would say give me 16 hours of, not necessarily 16 hours of screen on time, obviously, but just
I was going to say
get
16
me a
hours of screen on
full
time. Holy crap, that's a lot of
no,
screen
no,
on time.
no. Give me a full 16-hour day and get me back to the house with 5% on the phone so I can plop it on the charger for the night in a good, fast performing, pixel worthy foldable. I'll take 16 hours.
So it sounds like the notepad will be more like a larger folding 6A. I, for one, would welcome that. I was thinking more along the lines of like a couple of Pixel 5s folded in half. Like the Pixel
Yeah,
5
fives
side
is what
and
I
then
was
just
thinking.
unfold it.
Yeah.
Like to me, that would be just like the perfect size when it comes to that stuff. But that
But at the same time, if they can get the 6 or the 6 Pro size and, make it foldable to where when it's closed it'll still fit in the front of my jeans, that'll be amazing.
well, it'll be a 5.5-inch display on the outside if it's like the Oppo Find N, so it'll fit. And it actually will fold much, much better if it is like the Oppo Find N. Let me put it that way.
Right.
Moving to the other part of the rumor mill. Heyo, Miss Shelley. Hello, hello. The lower res outer screen may help with the battery. That would also be very true as well. The rumor mill has been churning about the 6A. This is from Gizmodo. Expected to have a 6.2-inch display that's slightly smaller than the Pixel 5A. The screen's capped at 60 hertz refresh rate, which was previously rumored at 120 hertz. The lower refresh rate might be for the battery life, coupled with a 4,800 milliamp hour battery pack. That is a fairly large battery pack in comparison. I believe the Pixel 6 Pro is 4,500. I would have to verify that, but I'm fairly certain. Don't worry about it. Let me just make the claim. I don't want your internet crapping out again. 4,800 milliamp hour battery pack. This would make the phone compete with the more entry level launches like from Motorola, while they tend to dial down the essentials like processing power in favor of battery life. But they will have the homemade Tensor chip like the flagship counterpart on the 6A. That's what I'm hearing. No, what he's saying is the notepad will be like Android 12 plus the Tensor system chip plus the P5 camera system. 5,000. Okay, thank you, Pixelated. I thought it was 4,500. I knew I couldn't remember everything off the top of my head. The Tensor
Yeah,
chip would also enable a lot of camera smarts as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that the new Tensor chip, once they have a couple of years to debug everything and really get their machine learning to optimize it, it's going to be phenomenal.
Dustin Young says, "Do you feel it's possible the Pixel notebook will launch when 12L rolls out, thinking Google would have their own product to showcase it?" I, for one, hope that's the case. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? This is the way that it kind of is. Like, I envision it to come out like Q2? No, I think it's probably maybe Q3. I would love to be wrong. But there's the rumor from John Prosser that talks about the Pixel Watch that's supposed to be coming out in May. So, I mean, I could be way off at that point. Who knows? Maybe May is where we're going to start to see Pixel Watch and a Pixel Fold, and like, oh, that would be all sorts of heaven. That would be really, really amazing. Plus, it would give them the jump up on the Z Fold 4, which comes out later in the year. So maybe that's what Google's trying to do. Maybe what they'll do, total conjecture. I'm about to lay some conjecture on it. Conjecture May, they launch the 6A. They launch the foldable notepad, so the Pixel notepad, and they launch a Pixel Watch at I/O. Now I think they'll
Heard it here first, folks.
I think they'll do two of those things. I think the most likely thing is the Pixel 6A and the Pixel Watch, but I would be remiss if I didn't say I would love Juan. I would love to be wrong, he says with the Pixel Fold 3 on his desk. The Pixel Watch has the same notification sound as the phone. I'd be thrilled. Agreed. I'm gonna say it here first that maybe they'll release it at I/O. I would love to be wrong, and maybe it'll be sooner. But I would say Pixel 6A, Pixel Watch for I/O, maybe the foldable notepad, and then in Q3, late Q3, Q4, you'll see the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro.
So for their traditional Scott Peachy's birthday launch show.
That's correct. That is correct. For my birthday, that's what they always do. They always come out with some Pixel on my birthday because I'm special. All right, Stats, we've been going at this for an hour. This was a great show. I would say that we really we just crapped the bed on the last 20 minutes because Kathleen just brought the thunder for the first 40. Where can they find you?
I am at Helix Heinlein on the Tweet Machine, Country Smith on the Instagram.
You can find me on the Instagram at the Scott Peachy, on Twitter at Scott Peachy. Thank you all for coming to the show. This has been a fantastic show. This Saturday, I will be judging Saturday Night Tech Fights. So you can find Saturday Night Tech Fights on Tech King Mike's channel. I will be judging over there. I think Juan might also be judging as well. And then it's going to be a new, cheaper Chromecast coming out at I.O. as well. That's just a other shameless plug I might be able to get there. And yeah, go to Tech King Mike's channel on YouTube. Join Saturday night. I think it starts at 8:00, maybe 8:30. And yeah, it'll be a good time.
It's 8:30 Eastern.
8:30 Eastern. There you go. You heard it here first. All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much.